Hey everybody, welcome back to Ruvrik's World, and it's your boy, Archibald. Now, as you can see, I'm back home. I got my whole gaming setup ready to go. This is my first PC game that I'm gonna capture, and I tried to put lights up, but now I have a shoe stuck to my wall. It's great. Now this game, Our Life, I don't really know what it's gonna be about. I think it's like a life simulator thing. Oh yeah, you gotta make my face a little bit chubby, you know. What should his name be? Oh, you already know. That's my favorite Mortal Kombat character right there. Raiden Ruvrik. Ooh. Oh shoot, I didn't erase. Or would it be better Ruvrik Raiden? You know what? That sounds nice, actually. Cause I be raiding all them stores. Yes. Give me this scar right here, right in my forehead. Rosy cheeks, nah, we're good. We're done. We're done here. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. Ooh, that's a big word. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 months of school-less vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. I gotta remember to mute this. Jeez. Families came and went from Sunset Bird. They mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down the roots. They built businesses, they get to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or often just said, hello. You didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyways. Haha, that'd be me. It was the polite thing to do after all, and your mom had taught you to always be respectful. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. Never. He's a stranger danger. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your mom called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mom had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. That's where we gotta go. We going with it. But you weren't sure about this man yet. But you were pretty interested. You wanted to know more about what was going on. I'm gonna go with this one. You slowed down, your eyes remaining fixed on the man. There was a split second where your eyes met and you knew he was aware he wasn't alone on the street anymore. Hey. You raised your eyebrows at the shout. Did he want something? Is that why he was here? The man stood up and started to make his way towards you. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. That one sounds kinda kinky. I'll go with the... Then we'll go with that one. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tanned skin and relaxed, appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you unexpectedly, waiting for your answer to his question. Yeah, I live right there. My name is Ruvrik. Great. Nice to meet you, Ruvrik. He gave you a broad smile, relief settling on his face. Yeah, see, I'm not trying to make it awkward. Oh, he's giving me money? Am I a stripper? I didn't sign up for this. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand and he held it up to you. Oh, now you're flexing on me. Is this one-on-one? No, it's not. Even more confused than before, you look back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? I think I changed his voice like 3 times already. Nothing bad, sorry. I should have... Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove. Well, he's about your age. You thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You never met anyone with that name. No, so now his name is Cove's dad. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Ruvrik Raiden, right? I met your mums earlier, and they told me you were 8, just like him, so I figured I'd walk over here and give you a little tour of my house. He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with my boy? He doesn't have any friends around here, and I just want him to be happy. Just give it a chance, and you could keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him.
Do you mind?
But you've got to keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be very friendly to say his dad sent you. Yeah, it'd be weird. Did other kids really get their parents to pay for their friendships? Had your moms done that for you and Lizzie, the thought made you frown. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? Shoot, I'll take the money. You carefully plucked the bill from his outstretched hand, grinning at the thoughts of what you could do with that much cash. All the sweets you could ever want. We'll go for the candy route, even though when I was a kid, I'd rather have tomatoes. They're pretty good. Like just a whole tomato, just like eat it like an apple. Why not? Your tummy rumbled thinking about it. And that was just a start. You thought the sky was the limit with that kind of amount. The man smiled at you, his eyes crinkling at the sides as he did. Great. That's great. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet you and greet with the neighbors today, but... well, I don't know where he's gone off to. Wow, you're a bad parent. We're gonna have to send out an Amber Alert soon, because you just let him wander around wherever he wants to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked at you, though, he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Sure thing. I mean, what else am I gonna say to this guy? He gave me $20. Time to go to a candy shop. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still gonna help. Or at least try. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Oh, you can't give a brother a handshake, I see how it is. Your mom's already. checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look, too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back, and it's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Ruvrik. So much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. And guess what? I'm gonna be the one to find him. Yup. Step 1. First sight. Wow. There's gonna be actual gameplay mechanics in this? I don't know. The chirping of the crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore, and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you imagined living far beneath the waves. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself you had seen the flash of a shiny mermaid. Mermaid, whatever. Tail in the distance. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone. So you glanced around. Now he's stalking me. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and the white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him for a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. The deer didn't have green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge glasses, pink cast, or sad frowns. The deer didn't have any of these, but this boy did. You watched as he pushed them up the bridge of his nose with his finger. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another, and then he glanced your way. This makes me think of a fanfic. We'll keep going. His aquarium eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hey, Space Cadet. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. Well, I'm just trying to make jokes, you know. It'll lighten up the mood. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at him, he hid his arms behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How do you know that? You touched the monkey in your pocket, feeling it crinkle beneath your fingertips. I met your dad.
Oh.
So, this is your hill. He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave, if it is. You can't own a hill. Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this isn't mine. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered the hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cold as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why'd your family move, man? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question, almost like they'd never stopped. His tears started up again, with vengeance. My parents, they don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave and took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. Well, hey, I could make it better. I want my mommy. I want my mommy. Your dad seems kinda nice. Stop crying like a little bitch. No, I'm just kidding. He slipped his hand underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what that would be like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Ruverick! Cove. Kate, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here. I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. You can handle it, man. You can handle it. And even if you can't, he's your dad, right? Yeah, he is. Dusting the grass off of your pants, you stood up. So you didn't come here by yourself, or with a stranger. He's got to take care of you no matter what. Slowly, Cove stood up, with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? I switched that up. He looked towards the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away, while rubbing his not bandaged arm. I still don't want to go. You tried to convince him. This is I like to convince. I am a very convincing person, if I do say so myself. Now, are you sure? You'd have to stay outside the whole night and sleep on a wet grass. Before Cove could say anything else, you heard his dad's voice again, even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Oh, look it, my moms look, like moms. Ruverick, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove, and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. Nah, we're just chilling, bro. Don't even worry about it. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug, and pushed at his arms. You shrugged? Yes, I like him. He is good. I think I'm gonna marry him. What? I thought we were a guy. I'm confused. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thank you very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood very well.
thing Ruvik knows this whole area so well.
Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us. Say goodbye, Cove.
Bye.
He said it for you. I didn't need to say nothing. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared.
Tell me, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound?
Sure, I can show him my stuff. It sounds like words. You nodded, ducking your head. Both of your moms laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied, and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting, awkward day, you followed them home. My feelings for Cove, nervous and indifferent.